Hello and welcome to Inside AlliSports. For almost 20 years, Mike Rooftop Escamilla has been a fearless force on the BMX scene. And Anthony Napolitan burst onto the top of the rankings in 2006 and has been on the forefront of progression ever since. They both know BMX better than anybody else, and we've got them here at the Inside AlliSports studio to break it down. I'm Pat Parnell, and today we are taking you inside BMX. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey, Pat.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
So obviously we're going to do a little history lesson here to kind of compare and contrast. You grew up in a different time in BMX. You grew up obviously a little bit later. But what was different then versus what's different now? How would you guys compare the two scenes?
I mean, when I first started growing up, there was, you saw a bike rider and you were like, he's my friend. The only bike ride around was Brian Castillo. He lived 13 miles away. I rode to his house every day and home in the summer every day. So that was different. There was no skate parks.
And he just happened to be Brian Castillo.
Yeah,
it's kind of convenient, right?
I mean,
there was a time where there weren't parks. There was maybe like a word of a half pipe
we rode
or
banks
trails
or ditches. That's what
right, yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, in Ohio, we had a good amount of
California.
Oh yeah,
No, I know.
we had some really good indoor skate parks. Where I lived, Section 8, Changa, the Flow. We had a good amounts, but we still I kind of feel like I'm still holding on to the time era that he grew up in, where it's like, you go on a mission and try and find something. You kind of start to take it for granted if you have too much stuff given to you, like too many cement parks or too many of this.
So you're saying
nice
working for it is a
adventure.
good thing. I remember back in the day, the guys that rode dirt, they're like, if you don't pick up a shovel, you're not hanging with us.
And it's still kind of the same way too. If you're in that neighborhood, don't think you're gonna show up at the trails and ride and not shovel,
You reflect back, it seems like there was a time where a BMXer was all aspects. You picked up a shovel, you rode dirt, you rode vert, and you rode what parks you were allowed to ride.
You just rode everything.
Yeah,
You just went outside and rode.
I remember growing up watching X Games and seeing Jay Miron ride vert, flat, park, dirt. All four categories at the time.
Dude, does the total BMX rider have to embrace all aspects?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it has to be that. It just has to be, look at Nigel. He's really good. He's not the best street rider, but he's amazing. And he makes it look good. And he's a good-looking dude, and he's cool. The kids want to be around cool kids. It doesn't there's some people who won't name names in the sport that are probably better than most everyone, but they're douchebags, and they're and they're not cool. So they will never matter. It's like any product. You don't get someone to sell product that people aren't into. I think at the end of the day, it's like anything else in all of marketing. People want to be other cool people.
Let's think about maybe the past 10 years, but maybe past 5 years.
Okay.
Things that have happened in BMX that have mattered, whether they be a trick, a person. Does anything stand out as something that was groundbreaking, that was a shift?
I mean, generally, I'm thinking what I've seen at contests, because I feel like I see a lot of progression at events, I definitely say, the mega ramp jumps have pushed the progression. Jeb Milton did that triple flip in New Zealand, which was...
But I feel like that's people, not tricks, It's the way people look at things. You see dudes like Chad Curley. I watch Chad Curley ride on the street, and it's
unreal.
I watch him, and every single thing he does, I can't do. Not because I haven't practiced and learned it. I just can't do it. I just don't. I don't acquire.
That's your self-preservation right there.
But it's not even that. Because he doesn't do crazy. I mean, he has burnout stuff, but it's so technically hard that you're like, the 4 tricks he did in that line, I can't do any of those. And then he never put his wheel down. It's crazy.
Yeah. You're fresh back from Woodward, and I know everyone has strong opinions about the mega ramp. Tell us what you've been witnessing lately about what's happening and people's opinions on it.
Well, yesterday I saw Zach Warden do the first ever triple tail whip on the quarter pipe, so that was pretty interesting. I was really psyched for him, and he actually screamed out loud as the second one went around.
Was it a scream?
A scream in terror?
It was a terror scream.
Oh, it wasn't a claiming scream.
It was a terror scream.
I got this. Yep.
It was a terror scream, and then once he realized he pulled it, it was the fist pump. Yes.
That's sick.
You can claim that.
Yeah, there's no returning from that. I feel like you have 1 out of 10 dudes who is, like I said, they are creating. They're doing stuff before people, and then the other 9 dudes are copying it.
Is that happening in contest or outside of contest? Do contests
It's
matter,
everywhere.
and is the best riding happening outside of contests?
I think think the best riding always has to happen outside of contest because they don't learn it at contest.
Right. Yeah.
So I think maybe some of the best riding is seen at contests because people keep it secret. You know?
Like that's the old mentality of X Games is you're going to see something new at this X Games. Does that still exist where you're going to showcase?
I think it depends on the person because there's a safety issue. Like maybe not safety, but like a not want to crash issue at contests.
Right.
But it just depends on the person. If the person's like, this is what I'm gonna do. There's a trick I want to do, and I'm gonna send it till I get it.
You've been practicing for the X Games. Is there something, whether it be from yourself or some other person you know, that's going to be showcased at the X Games?
Zach's got some really cool tricks up his sleeve, and you know he just pulled that triple whip yesterday.
Which puts it together for mega ramp.
Right.
Because like the jump is kind of, even though you have to have something on the jump, if you don't got something on the quarter pipe, it just doesn't.
Right.
Exactly. And you know, Zach's an amazing vert rider as well, so he is not afraid of that quarter pipe.
The stuff that I've heard and the few things I saw the other day at Woodward Tahoe,
yeah.
I could put him for the win.
Yeah,
I could put him for
seriously,
the win.
he's...
If he could put those two tricks down at the right time, I could put him for the win.
Yeah. The past couple years, I've brought some new stuff. You know, the double front stuff was a big thing for me, and then...
Wait, before you go any farther, how does it feel being, like, because when you brought the double front one year, and then, like I said, as soon as you see it, the next year it was like 4 dudes had the double front.
Right, yeah.
Right. So how does that feel, you know? Like...
I mean, it definitely sucks because, I mean, at that point in my life, I was like, I spent all this effort and time trying to come up with something original and kind of be the first to do something. And granted, other people were trying it at the time, and it just wasn't happening.
Like,
but
I will always have more respect for the first person to do it than the dude who does the best, the guy who does it best or bigger.
Okay, obviously, you know, the stakes are not as high, say, as the Olympics, but when you take like someone like Shaun White, the mentality...
Apparently he hasn't watched the Olympics.
No.
They're riveting.
Are they riveting? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Well, no, but if you look
weird
at
sports no one should ever do. That's why they're on
well, no,
once
I'm talking
every
about
4 years.
snowboarding in Winter Olympics. Shaun White...
Okay, that's different. Okay.
Yeah, no, but Shaun White obviously built a training facility, didn't invite his bros, and was all basically focused on showcasing something new, and it went against everything that snowboarding technically stands for. Could that ever exist in BMX?
I mean, it's like anything. There's definitely, we film parts and we try to keep it locked up and quiet when you have a new trick.
when I first did the double front stuff, like I did it at Woodward, and there was probably a small group of like 20 people there with me that day. Not very small, but you know. Anyway,
they were small. Like,
yeah, just short
people. A lot of
campers.
short people.
Small campers, cheerleaders.
But yeah, like it was like no one put out the video, and everyone was kind of zipped up, and there was only just little whispers of, oh, I heard this, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was cool for me because I was able to go out there and lay it down, and I didn't win, but
Didn't matter.
I was so happy. Like it didn't even matter.
You
It was
didn't
the
win
best
because
moment.
you choked on the quarter pipe.
And that's the truth.
Which won't happen this year.
That's the truth.
Is there one thing that kind of stands out that BMX has given you the eyes and the ability to see and experience?
I mean, it's definitely shaped who I am, and like be able to appreciate things, and you can see how spoiled people are. I've gotten to see really poor places of the world and very rich people and how they live, and you can see the difference that rich or poor, money does not make you a good or a bad person. You know, it's giving me a better perspective as a person, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything he said. Like, it just gives you a good, well-roundedness, and makes you really appreciate what you have as well. You know, it's nice to see the world. I tell all my friends from back east, I'm like, listen, you guys need to get out of town and see what's in the world because you're not going to believe it. I'm super stoked that I'm able to live the life that I do, and in any instance, like I try and live it to the fullest, you know.
And it also has created a world for me where nothing is impossible. It's just a matter of putting yourself in the right place to do it, except like taking that first step. I'm going to do this now, whatever the outcome is.
Being the first person to hit a 60-foot gap.
Whatever it is, you know,
I
I just feel like I have whatever it is inside me. If there's something I really want to do, I don't feel like there's anything I can't.
You've just seen a lot.
Right,
Yeah, your eyes are
but you
just
know,
wider.
when you do see, you know, that something that comes along that you haven't seen before, you're like, what?
I once saw a man walk to the middle of an intersection and take a poop and walk away.
That's another show, another time. Well, I'll be watching Mega Ramp, looking for the front flip and the gold.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks for coming in. That's it for another episode of Inside AlliSports. You don't want to miss anything on AlliSports, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. For Inside AlliSports, I'm Pat Parnell. Thanks for watching. You guys are excused.